Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and more specifically, we're going to be talking about this consolidation pattern that Bitcoin has been in for the last several weeks. Now, on the last 3 videos here on the channel, I've been talking about this consolidation pattern, and over the last couple of them, I talked about how I was ever so slightly more bullish on Bitcoin than bearish, and it just so happens that Bitcoin did go ahead and break bullish out here just yesterday. As you can see, Bitcoin had a very nice little green lightsaber move Bitcoin straight to the upside. It was about a 5 to 6% move, as we can see here with our measuring tool. Not a massive move, but definitely a significant one, because this has been the climax of this long-term consolidation pattern here on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin breaking out of this is actually rather significant also, because it's potentially the beginning of a new rally. We're going to be talking about that in more in today's video, but I want to show you guys how Bitcoin is now above the 20 exponential moving average. Is Bitcoin finally entering a rally? Because we haven't seen Bitcoin actually be in the state of rallying in the last several months. We may be about to see that happen. We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's video, guys. So if you enjoyed today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing that notification bell, guys. We do crypto videos every single day, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of them. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Bitcoin is currently trading just a hair over $4,000. We are trading around that $4,000 region. We didn't really get resistance at it because we did go quite a bit above it. We moved up to around $4,100 or so overnight. But we are sitting just a little bit above $4,000. Hopefully we can use that as kind of a launch pad for Bitcoin to go even higher over the next couple of days. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the crypto market recap, and we'll get back on into the technical analysis. Like I said, Bitcoin across all exchanges is currently trading just a little bit over $4,000, and it's up by about 5% over the last 24 hours, 4.5% depending on the exchange you're looking at. It's going to be a little bit different with a daily volume of around $6 billion. I talked about this in the last couple of videos where we discussed consolidation patterns, where a lot of the times you'll see a breakout and you'll see a volume climax to come with that. So as you can see, most of this price action all happened on 1 hour right here. That was around noon yesterday, my time, Eastern Standard Time. And as you can see, like I was telling you guys, when you see a breakout, normally you're going to see a very big green or red volume candle right there, and that's what confirms that breakout, and that's how you know that the breakout has actually happened and is actually happening. And that's why I said always wait for that volume climax when a consolidation pattern is being broken before you put your trade in. Also, like I was saying with the trading, you could have put a buy order right here. You would have caught this, and then you perhaps would have sold it up here after you saw Bitcoin start flagging out up here and made a nice pretty penny. Anyway, definitely a lot of money to be made in the breakouts of consolidation patterns, and definitely a valuable lesson if you guys didn't trade that, because there's almost always a lot of money to be made by the breaking of those. Anyway, Ethereum is still sitting here in number 2's position. We did see Ethereum and XRP swap around a little bit over the last couple of months. That very well may happen again, but for right now, Ethereum is down over the last 24 hours, and XRP is up in the green. XRP is up around 2.5%, and Ethereum's down 0.25%. Overall, the market is rather green. We have a Bugraya coin. I've never been able to properly pronounce that cryptocurrency, up 75%. We got Digitex futures and BitShares up there, up around 13 to 16% respectively. 5 double-digit gainers today. If we scroll down on crypto on the coin market cap, we're going to see that the vast majority of cryptocurrencies are indeed green, and we only have 2 double-digit losers. Not a whole lot that we want to discuss on coin market cap today, so let's go ahead and get back on into the technical analysis. Anyway, there's a couple of different things that I want to talk about here. The first thing is I want to talk about the strength of the bulls and the bears. That's why I have an entire video dedicated to the strength of the bulls and the bears in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. You can check out what we have to offer with the link in the description. But the reason I have an entire video on it is because it's very important for you guys to understand which faction is more powerful, whether it be the bulls. In this case, perhaps you might say the bulls are more powerful because we broke bullish out of this consolidation pattern. Or it's important to understand if the bears are the ones that are in control, because typically it's not, sometimes it's a little bit oversimplistic to look at a market as simply a war between the bulls and the bears. But in general, especially when you're looking at longer term time frames, like on the 4-hourly and the daily chart, and even on the weekly chart even more so, and when you're talking about bulls and bear markets, it's important that you understand who's in control of the market and who's driving the market. And since we've been in a bear market for 2018 and moving on here into 2019, we're still in that bear market. Perhaps we're entering an accumulation phase now, but overall, we're basically still bearish. The bears have been the ones that are mostly in control. So when you have the bulls come into control during a bear market, when the actual typical state of the market would say that the bears are the ones that should be in control, then that's really a powerful signal, because if you're bearish during a bear market, well, big whoop, everybody's bearish during a bear market. That's why it's called a bear market. But when you have bullish price action during a bear market, that is contradictory to the actual kind of market that you're in, and that typically lends itself to some very important moves, and that's exactly what we've seen here over the last couple of days. So the first thing that I want to talk about in relation to that is the shorts chart, because I mentioned the short shorts chart in yesterday's video, I talked about how shorts have been falling pretty quickly, and I do believe right around the time that I record that video, Bitcoin shorts were at around 27,000 on Bitfinex, and now they're down around 24,000, meaning we've lost about 3,000 shorts over the last 24 hours, and that probably correlated with this little jump in Bitcoin's price action right here, because of course, like I talked about in yesterday's video, when you close a short position, you have to cover that short by buying Bitcoin back or whatever you're shorting. If you're shorting XYZ coin, then you have to buy back XYZ coin when you are done with your short position. You have to give the people their money back. You can't just sell their cryptocurrency and hold on to the profit yourself. That's called stealing. You don't want to do that, or no, you don't want to do that. Anyway, my point is here, after those short positions have been closed, that does give a little bit more bullish price action to Bitcoin here. But what does all that mean? Well, what that means is the fact that Bitcoin shorts are going down, Bitcoin price action is going up, Bitcoin longs are rallying. They're going down a little bit over the last couple of hours, but in general, the shorts are going down, the longs are going up, and Bitcoin's price action is going up. What that means is that it means that the bulls are the ones that are strong right now. It means that they have the strength, and they've also just recently proven that with this breakout right here. Now, like I said in a previous video, sometimes when you get this close into the end of a consolidation pattern, it can come down to random chance as to which direction you break out. But after you have that breakout, whichever faction the breakout favored, in this case the bulls, they're going to take that breakout as evidence that they are the ones that are stronger, and the people that are bullish in this case are going to use this breakout as evidence that perhaps the market's going to move higher, and that does mean that the bulls are stronger. All of this to say that because of what has happened over the last couple of days, it's likely that Bitcoin's going to continue moving up from here. So that's the next thing that I want to talk about. I wanted to talk price targets, and I also want to talk about the potential of Bitcoin moving into a new rally. Well, let's talk about the rally thing first, because there's a couple of different things that lend me to believe that Bitcoin may be about to enter some kind of larger rally. I'm not calling it a rally that's going to go to $6,000 or a rally that's going to go to $7,000 or $20,000. A rally just means that Bitcoin is moving in the general direction of up over the next couple of days, maybe on into the next week or so. We saw a little rally right here. This wasn't much of a rally, but you might consider that a rally. But one of the ways in 2018 that I normally classified a rally as starting was after that market broke and got above and stayed above the 20 exponential moving average here on the daily chart. Back over here in Bitcoin, we had, back over here in 2018, for especially the first 3 quarters of 2018, we had a state of rallying and downtrends. And after that, around in quarter 4, we started just kind of trading sideways here for a couple of months. That was a little boring, but in most of 2018, we saw these downtrends and rallies. And every time you saw a downtrend, the downtrend would start with the 20 exponential moving average being broken. Every time an uptrend would start, it would start by the 20 exponential moving average being broken. And this moving average was a great indicator to tell us when Bitcoin was in an uptrend or in a downtrend. And recently, what we've seen Bitcoin do is trade sideways ever so slightly above the 20 exponential moving average. And for the first time in quite a while, other than this time right over here where we got above it, for the first time in quite a while, Bitcoin is actually away from the 20 EMA and is actually looking very bullish in relation to it. As you can see, we were trading kind of above it right here, but now that we've broken out and we're 6 or 7% above it, Bitcoin is well and truly above the 20 EMA in a way that we haven't seen in quite some time. Over here, we saw Bitcoin get away from it a little bit. We saw Bitcoin get above it, but basically Bitcoin was trading around it right here. We did see Bitcoin get above it right here, but very quickly Bitcoin came right back down to the 20 EMA. But right now, for the time being anyway, Bitcoin is above the 20 exponential moving average, and based on how powerful this moving average is across basically all time frames, that does lead me to believe that we are now entering a new state of rallying. Now, with that said, of course, this rally is very young, and I would like to see maybe another 72 hours, another 3, 4, 5 days of bullish price action, or at least neutral price action, to see if Bitcoin can sustain what it has already started here over the last couple of days, over the last couple of hours even. Sometime yesterday, Bitcoin broke out, of course. I'd like to see Bitcoin stay up here and continue looking bullish so that we can start talking about price targets and seeing Bitcoin go up. I do think that Bitcoin is a little bit more bullish now than it was before. Now, I will give one counter argument to that, and sometimes what you see is that a market will break bullish out of here, and then this was unjustified bullish price action, and Bitcoin will fall back down. That's something that could happen. I don't think that's what's going to happen based on the shorts and the longs chart. Based on the overall sentiment of the market, it seems that Bitcoin's going to be a little bit bullish over the next couple of days. So, with all of that in mind, now that we believe that Bitcoin is in a state of bullishness, we believe that the bulls are the ones that are in control, and now that we also understand why I believe anyway that we have now entered a state of rallying and that we want some more confirmation for that, where's Bitcoin going over the next couple of days? Let's talk about price targets, because of course that's one of the most important things, is understanding where Bitcoin currently is, where any market currently is, and where that market's going so that you can make a trade according to which direction you think the market's going to go. So I'm going to tell you guys where I think the market is going. There are a couple of different price targets that I have for Bitcoin. I don't use a couple of different there are a couple of different ways that I set price targets that I'm not able to use here, simply because the market isn't set up normally the way that Bitcoin markets normally are set up, because Bitcoin has been crashing so much recently. When Bitcoin was pulling back from these downtrends and rallies over here, you would use Fibonacci. We gotta get our Fib retracement out here, and we would use Fibonacci, and we'd say, okay, well, Bitcoin's most likely going to top out around the 61.8% Fibonacci level. And we could, in theory, do that coming down from this high right here. We could pull this down to our bottom and put a price target right up here around $5,250. If you guys are privy, or not privy, but if you guys are partial to using Fibonacci retracement, you might use Fibonacci retracement like that to try and get an idea of where Bitcoin's going. Perhaps $5,250 is a level you'd want to look at. That is kind of a semi-big even, because it's a quarter of the way from $5,000 to $6,000, but I'm not going to be using that as one of my price targets. One of the way that I use price targets a lot when I don't have the benefit of using a properly set up market to use Fibonacci retracement is I use my moving averages, because moving averages are very often incredibly important levels of support and resistance. As you can see over here, this 100 simple moving average, for example, on the daily chart was holding this market down. Bitcoin kept getting resistance on it. That's just one example. Over here on the longer term time frames, we saw Bitcoin getting resistance on the 200 daily simple moving average. All of these are very important moving averages that I would like to see Bitcoin go up and test, if not break. So a couple of different places that I'm expecting Bitcoin to go. Of course, we're going to look at the moving averages, but one of them would be $4,500, simply because $4,500 is halfway from $4,000 to $5,000, and people look at those levels as big even. So a lot of people are going to have their sell orders there. That's one place that I would be looking. Another place that I would be looking comes up on the 4-hourly chart. If we come here on the 4-hourly chart, then we can see where previous levels of resistance were. We're going to see that the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, if it were horizontal, right here around $4,400, would also be a level of resistance. So that kind of zone between $4,400 to $4,500 is going to have a large sell wall, and we're going to see that that is going to be a big level of resistance, so be careful for that. One thing that you might also look at is the actual proper neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. As you can see here, if we turn our moving averages off, that we are seeing that as a level of resistance right now. So we're going to want to see Bitcoin get above that. As we can see, we have a touch there, and now a touch there. We want to see Bitcoin get above that downtrend of resistance and see Bitcoin actually break above that. And of course, now getting onto the moving averages, if we get above that kind of downtrend that we're looking at right now, and around $4,400 to $4,500, I'm also looking at $5,000 even, because that is very much a big even. That is very much a very important level of resistance, partially because it has 3 zeros in it. You guys know a big even has 3 zeros in it. That's basically what $5,000 is. But $5,000 is also halfway between $0 and $10,000, making it even more significant because it shows up kind of on... If you were to zoom out really, really far here, you would see $5,000 shows up. It's a very important level of resistance, partially because it's halfway between those two levels. Also, having to do with $5,000, as we can see, the 100 simple moving average happens to be lining up almost perfectly with $5,000, depending on when we get up here and depending on if we get up here. Either this 100 simple moving average or $5,000 flat is going to prove to be an important level of resistance. As we can see, the market very well may bring the 100 SMA down something like this, and we might come up here and test that, or we may test $5,000. It just depends on when we go up there, but both of those are likely going to be important levels of resistance, and both of those are most assuredly price targets for me and for a large portion of the people trading in the cryptocurrency space. Now, I will be completely honest, guys. There is a chance that Bitcoin completely falls over and goes straight back down to 3,000. I think that it's a little bit more likely that Bitcoin goes to the upside, partially because Bitcoin has been so incredibly bearish over the last month or so, especially in the end of November, early December, and also because the shorts are going down, the longs are going up, the market has just broken out, the overall sentiment in the market is slightly more bullish. I think we're going to see some more bullish price action, but with all of that said, at the time being anyway, I may change my mind on this depending on how the market develops, because of course I don't know what the market's going to do for 100% certainty over the next week or so. No one does. Depending on what the market does, I may change my opinion on this in the time to come. But for right now, I am not expecting Bitcoin to get above $5,000. $5,000 isn't that far away. $5,000 is really not that far away. It's only 25% away. We're already at $4,000. 5K is not very far away. But considering we are still in a bear market, considering we did break $6,000, I am nowhere near as bullish right now as I was while we still had $6,000 as a floor. So keep that in mind, guys. I would be very wary of holding on to Bitcoin if Bitcoin goes above $5,000. And I think a lot of people in the market have the same sentiment and will be selling as soon as we get to $5,000, assuming we even get that high. So tell me in the comment section down below what you think of this video, guys. Did you enjoy the technical analysis? Do you agree with my price targets? And do you think that Bitcoin's even going to continue rallying? Because something I've seen happen multiple times in markets This is kind of rare, but it does happen. Sometimes what you'll see, and if I can remember where it is, I'll show you on the Ethereum chart where this happened. Sometimes what you'll see is you'll see Bitcoin go into a consolidation pattern right here, and you'll see, well, not even just Bitcoin, any market go into a consolidation pattern. It'll break bullish, and then very quickly the market will realize, oh, actually, that's not bullish. That was a fake out, and Bitcoin or whatever market will crash. And sometimes that happens. It's very possible that that happens. It's very possible we're misreading the chart. That is definitely something that can happen. Let me see if I can find an example of that. Yeah, here's an example. This was the example I was thinking of right here on Ethereum. I just so happen to have my TA still up on it. As you can see right here, Ethereum was in a consolidation pattern here. It broke bullish, and a couple days later, it went bearish in a very major way. So sometimes you do see this happen. I don't think that's what's going to happen here on Bitcoin. I do think that since Bitcoin was already in kind of a bullish state before it actually got into this consolidation pattern, or for the duration of this consolidation pattern, I should say, that we're probably going to see Bitcoin continue to go up, but just keep that in the back of your mind that there is a chance that Bitcoin crashes from here. There always is. So make sure no matter how bullish you are that you're always protecting yourself with stop losses. A great place to have stop losses right now would probably be something like a little bit below $3,800. If Bitcoin goes below this downtrend of resistance right here, now a downtrend of support. If Bitcoin goes below this, we're in the danger zone. I would definitely recommend, I never tell you guys what to do, but if I were you guys, and what I'm going to be doing is I would have a stop loss somewhere right around here and be moving it down to keep it below this downtrend of resistance, because if Bitcoin goes below that, that is most assuredly a very, very bad sign. Anyway, guys, like I said, tell me in the comment section down below what you think of the TA. Do you agree with the price targets? I love reading your comments. And also, guys, if you're interested in learning how to do cryptocurrency technical analysis, I highly recommend checking out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy in the link in the description down below. Guys, this was a 5% move. If you made this 5% move because of one thing that you learned in the course with a couple $1,000s, you would have made back the price of the course and more, and also learned a lot of valuable lessons. So if you guys want to learn how to do technical analysis, I always recommend investing in yourself before investing in the markets. Go ahead and check it out. I do think it's a very good product, and I do think you guys will learn a lot about TA that you may not have known. So check out what we have to offer down below. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.